Hello, my name is Andrew, and the topic of my persuasive speech is going to be over nanotechnology. So, let's begin. What's the main purpose or the central idea behind your persuasive speech? Well, the first thing I want to do is I want to inform the audience about what nanotechnology is. I feel like it's really understated and it's just not talked about enough, even though it's a very interesting subject. The second thing I would like to talk about is some of the fears that many people have with nanotechnology and whether or not they're justified. So, let's get started. The first thing I want to talk about is nanotechnology in the biomedical field. Now, it's very interesting what people have already started to develop in the field of nanotechnology. While many people would believe it's just a far-off fictional subject that isn't worth our time or money, it's very real and it's already being used a lot today. So, first thing I want to talk about are nanosystems. Now, nanosystems mainly talked about a couple of people here. I'm going to name them off in the order that I talk about them. But the first thing I want to talk about is from Dr. Wenke in 2019. He talked about how nanosystems are helping to cure atherosclerosis, which is, I didn't know this, but the buildup of plaque in your arteries that can lead to a heart attack or even a stroke. So you might be asking, how is this helping atherosclerosis? Well, nanosystems can help to restructure and create more integrity within the arteries. So it's like beams in your arteries that help to support the failing arteries, or they can even remove it entirely. So it's very important for people today that are mainly dying from some of these heart-related bio problems, I should say, just deaths. It's very important that we implement this. Another person who's kind of talking alongside him with this nanosystems idea is Dr. Rocco. In 2020, he was kind of reaffirming this and talking about how nanosystems should be able to withstand high heat and high low temperatures. And he was just kind of talking about his studies involving it. And both of these together could help to make very important nanosystems that are even better in the future, even though they are being used now. Another use of nanosystems from ProQuest firm in 2020 are silver nanoparticles. Now, these are very interesting because silver nanoparticles are basically organelles that are artificially made by humans and they're implemented in our cells. So, say there's a injured cell or a dying cell. You can implement silver nanoparticles into this cell and they can help to repair it, to help it make it stronger, and even defend itself from new attacks. It's like a little bionic upgrade to your own cells, but on a microscopic level. So it's very interesting, the things that people are even doing now in the year 2020. Another use for it involves nanobots. Now, nanobots are a little bit more out of the range of possibility, but they're still possible because we're developing some of the integral parts of nanobots today. So one of those things being nano motors and nano pumps and nano engines, if you believe. So basically, what Dr. Lang talks about in his study in 2019 are basically microscopic nano bot motors, or I just said pumps, that can be used in lots of situations. For example, say you have a nanobot in your bloodstream and it detects a virus. It can then talk to the other nanobots just like a cell would, and they immediately know what to do because they're a robot and they already have like their system connected to it. So they're like, identify the virus, I know how to take it down, let's neutralize the threat, and they will all mobilize to take it down before it becomes even a problem. It's like a more efficient version of your blood cells and your white blood cells. So very interesting. Yes, Dr. Zhang in 2020, also talking about the biomedical field, talked about how nanoparticles can be used in basically nanosystems that create molecules. And basically when they create these particles, they can cause your body to react in a certain way. And the way he's talking about is he's explaining how his nanosystem would create a molecule that alerts the system to a tumor, and it starts creating anti-tumor enzymes and just reactions to it. So what you do is you artificially create this response. The body will deploy its blood cells and T cells, and it will find these tumors that lock on, and using MRI or CT scans or optical imaging, you could better locate it because you're looking for those anti-tumor cells, and whenever they gather, that's where you find the tumor. It's very interesting and very cool. So I just can't wait to see where this technology goes. Now let's continue. Now, nanotechnology in the field of engineering, already very useful. It's being used in the phone I'm recording on, in the computer I'm showing you the slideshow on, in the form of semiconductors that are microscopic to the nano size. We have scratch-resistant phones with glass. You have wearable technology like the Apple Watch. I don't have one, but the point still stands. Lots of things that we already use on a daily basis that we just don't know, which is why I want to inform you more about it so we can better implement it into our lives and just fund it. It's very useful. Also nanotechnology is very useful for like waste reduction. So you might be confused. Waste reduction, what do you mean? Well, when you produce something, you have waste. Nanoparticles and like nanotechnology can better efficiently use products and resources. So nanotubes are stronger, better, lighter. You don't need to replace them as often. That way you're not wasting as much stuff. You're like, your phone screen breaks, you have to get a new one of that. Well, not anymore, because you have nanotechnology that's implemented into your phone screen. It's scratch resistant. You don't have to get it. It lasts longer. No waste is produced. So, helping the planet. That's great. Also, like I was talking about earlier, once you get these semiconductors and nanotechnology reduced down enough, it's faster and it's stronger and it's better, so lasts longer, it's even better for the planet. Yay. Alright, you might be thinking, that's great, that's whoop-de-doo, but what's the problems, you say? What are some of the problems, and are they even justified? Well, all those good things I just talked about can be bad. If somebody with the wrong hands, somebody with the wrong intention gets their hands on it, it's bad. It's the same thing with all technology. If somebody were to develop a microscopic nanovirus, it can be used against us. Same thing with technology. You could be used to make even better weapons like bombs and guns. But yet again, it all depends on who has this technology, and it would be better if that we had it rather than they, because they're already working on it, and we need to work on it as well if we're going to stand a chance. So that's why I believe that we should start working and funding more nanotechnology projects so that we can be better prepared for the future. And I hope you agree with me, and I hope that you come to see that nanotechnology is ultimately for our betterment. So